Court-appointed lawyers for former Chadian President Hissene Habre say they have appealed his life sentence for war crimes and crimes against humanity handed down by a special tribunal in Dakar.
Chad's former leader appeals his conviction for crimes against humanity and war crimes. Hissene Habre was sentenced to life in prison on the 30th of May. He was found guilty of ordering the killings and torture of thousands of political opponents during his 8-year rule. His legal team has since questioned the ability of the judges that handed down Habre's sentence.
Pour être juge dans le cadre des chambres africaines extraordinaires, il faut avoir été juge pendant 10 ans. Or, nous venons d'être au courant.
To judge in the extraordinary African chambers, one must have been a judge for 10 years. Now we have to be aware that Judge Amadi Diop, who presided over the extraordinary African chambers, does not meet the legal and strict conditions set by Article 115 of the Statutes of African Chambers. Unfortunately, this magistrate has never exercised his function as judge, and so he could not be appointed as a judge in the extraordinary African chambers.
Et que donc, il ne pouvait pas être désigné comme juge dans les chambres africaines extraordinaires.
At his trial, witnesses recounted the horror of life in Chad's prisons, describing in graphic detail abusive and often deadly punishments inflicted by Habre's feared secret police. According to his lawyers, Habre is being held in arbitrary detention.
He was advised by Minister Sidiki Kaba, who appointed him in violation of the extraordinary African chambers. Bearing in mind this illegality, bearing in mind the irregularities, and bearing in mind the consequences that this decision is disqualified, Hissene Habre is once again being held in arbitrary detention.
The verdict against Habre brought closure to relatives of up to 40,000 people killed and many more kidnapped, raped or tortured during his 1982 to 1990 term as president of Chad. The case was heard by a special tribunal set up by the African Union under a deal with Senegal. It was the first time a country prosecuted a former leader of another nation for rights abuses. The appeal process is not expected to conclude before April 2017, as the judges first have to decide on the question of civil compensation lawsuits filed on behalf of the victims' relatives. Bureau Report, ANN 7.